Everyone, good afternoon, good evening, hopefully not good night just yet. We have our Bitcoin Monday update. No matter where you are in the world, we're trying to do 2 updates at least per week now. Every Monday, start your week off with me, of course. Why else would you start it? And then also a Thursday update to kind of let the week progress out and see the general updates. Updating more than that at this kind of stage, there's just not a whole lot of need for it. You don't need to be worried on the hour to hour. In case in point, here is the hourly chart, right? You could see we're doing much of nothing, right? We're going up and then going back down. This is the hourly chart. We're just range bound, right? Right between 31.5 to 28.5. So that's why these alerts are here. These are Bitcoin price alerts, and you can do that yourself. If you just right click, right, you can add an alert for whatever price you want to. So why did I particularly pick these 2 spots? Well, once you hit a range where you haven't been in quite some time, even on the hourly, maybe you're starting to pick up one way or the other. So if we take this alert out, 31.5, then we've quite decisively taken out the high prices for the past, going back all the way to May 12th. So we're looking over 10 days now straight right there. So, and then on the flip side of that, 28.5, right around that area. You don't have to be too specific, right? You just want to have a clean, concise break of a low or a high, and then then you can start to pay attention a little bit more. So maybe that'll help you focus less on the hour to hour or even the day to day, right? Just set some price alerts, get it, it'll send it right to your phone too if you have TradingView, and then you can start to pay attention and try to watch more videos. And then you can see I have one right down here, right? That would be our new low. If we're somehow to break that 25.3, that would be a new low, and then time to pay attention at that point, right? So that's the hourly. So we're starting off a little bit different this time. We're starting off zoomed way in, and then we're going to go look at the daily and the weekly and talk about the kind of weekly candles printing, and just look at it from maybe a different point of view than everyone else. So that's the hourly. That's what I'd be watching for. So zooming in on the hourly, we're in this nice little uptrend, and to keep it an uptrend, you'll want to generally no matter what time frame you're looking at, hourly, 4 hour, daily, weekly, whatever, you want to to remain more bullish on that time frame. You really want to stay in this top section of the Bollinger Bands. What do I mean by top section? Well, you can see the purple line. That's the median line, also known as the 20 SMA for that particular chart that you're looking at. So the hourly, it's the 20-hour SMA. If you're looking at the weekly, you guessed it, the 20-week SMA. So you don't have to add the 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA, which is in the yellow here. It's just the Bollinger Bands do that for you. So maybe you didn't know. Now, so as you can see, prices, as we start to get too bullish here, that's a little bit of cause for concern on the hourly. That look at all the upthrust here. See all these candles with the little spikes, right? That's those called upthrust or candle wicks, and that's getting sold off really quickly. To the flip side of that, right? You go too low too quickly, and it's bought up really quickly. So the powers that be are holding it around 30K, right? This kind of just we're walking on the 30K balance beam. We don't know which way we're going yet, but obviously, right? I mean, look at the past 10 days have just basically gone just ping pong back and forth. So anyone that's decisive on which way we're going next, I invite you to show the evidence. So that's the hourly. Let's zoom out a little bit and look at the daily. So the daily chart, right? We've had this fall down. We had a press back outside the Bollinger Bands. 90% of your price action happens inside your Bollinger Band. So being this pressed outside, we had to come back in, sooner than later. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 with a hard press outside, right? So now we've snapped back. So after that, you're usually going to trend sideways to kind of consolidate, which is what we're doing. So even on that level, right, you can see these are the same alerts, right? Around 31.5 would be a clear break to the upside. Not only that, but on the daily chart, like you see here, that is also going to be resistance at the 21 EMA on the daily and the 20-week SMA, or the 20-day SMA, excuse me. So really, for bulls to get a little bit stronger here, we're going to have to not only take out 31.5, but we're going to need to close a daily candle above one or both the 21-day EMA or the middle Bollinger Band here, the medium Bollinger Band, which is the 20-day SMA. So right now, that's right at that 31.5 level. So if we move up until we get above that, I would remain cautiously optimistic. Okay, we need to have the proof before we make the leap of faith. Okay, so if bulls want to really take back over, at least for the short term, we need to close above one or both of those levels. 31.5 is kind of the line in the sand for today. That's $1,200 roughly so away. So watch that over the next couple days, maybe before our next update on Thursday. We'll see how that progresses. What I do like, we're trying to close our second consecutive candle above the 8-day EMA, which is the red line, which we also talked about in our last video, and that would be our first big step for bulls to start waking up, maybe, at least temporarily, right? We don't know how long the bulls are going to stay awake, or if they're going to, get hit by a Mack truck as soon as they try to attempt anything. But you gotta have your first step somewhere. So this is that first step. One daily close above the 8-day EMA. We need two, right? We haven't had two in a hot minute, right? I think we talked about that last time, right in here. April 19th, April 20th. That's our previous time we had two daily candles, and that was short-lived, right? We even had press up to the 100-day EMA and then rejection, just like in high school. So, all right, so that's what you'd be looking for on the daily. And then, on the downside, right, you don't want to take out that 28.5 because there's not a whole lot more support, right? You can look at this low here on May 11th, the 27.682. And then your last rope before the last gasp there is at 25.3 level. So that's stuff to look at for the next several days here, and we'll look at it. Now, let's say we do get real bullish over the next couple days. What's our next target if we do break this? Well, you got your next moving average, which would be your 50-day EMA right here. Or more importantly, zoom out a little bit on the daily, and you can really see the next kind of clear level is right in this area, right? It doesn't have to be a defined zone or defined line, excuse me. It really needs to be like some kind of a zone. So we're looking kind of like 37.5 right in there, right? This is going to be our next obstacle, and this will be a big obstacle if and when we get up here on the daily chart. So the best case scenario for the bulls over the next week or so is if we kind of just mirror this back up to the upside here, right? This would be super bullish if we do something like this, and maybe we can break through this and then come back and retest. See this 21, right? And this would be perfect for the bulls, right? This is exactly what you would want. And then maybe we end up rejecting up here after this kind of relief rally, and then we want to pay attention. But if we break through 37.5, 38K, then the bulls could be getting a little bit stronger than most anticipate, myself included. I don't know if we have enough strength yet, right? We could just dilly-dally around here for the next 10, 15 days and just go back and forth and go more sideways. So kind of a couple options just to keep your mind open there. But yeah, the next big level is kind of these lows right here, 37.5 on the bigger scale, right? So let's go look at the weekly and try not to bore you too much. So the weekly, what are we talking about here? We had our 8-week EMA just cross, last week under the 100-week. The blue line is the 100-week. Right, so we zooming out, you can see the 200 SMA down here in the orange has historically held, perfectly. So if we get down there, might not be a great, time in your mind, but usually a great time to be buying is at that 200 SMA. Not financial advice, but you should probably have some orders in right around that area. If there's a big if, right? There's no guarantees we get down here. There's no guarantees we go lower than that. There's no guarantees that the low is not already in. Right? Anybody that thinks, 100% the low is not in, you should be running 100% away from, okay? Nobody knows what's going on, right? There's all speculation beyond the next 1 second, right? Only this moment in your life, and anyone's life, is inevitable. Everything else is not 100%, right? There is no guarantee that the next 10 minutes will happen, right? A meteor could be coming right now, and we are SOL, right? The aliens could be pointing a laser right at our Earth, and this could be the last second. I don't know if this video even publishes. We might be space dust by then, okay? So just saying, don't be 100% anything in life, or especially crypto or trading, okay? Just alien tangent there, okay? So now, what else do we need to be looking for? Well, there's probably a lot of talk. I've seen a lot of people talking about 8 red weeks in a row, and we have to have a green week. No, right? The momentum is to the downside. Usually momentum is stronger than anything else in trading. Momentum is a big one. And I invite you to open your minds for a little bit here and go with me. So, is this a red candle? Of course, right? That's a massive red candle. Is this a red candle? Well, by definition, yes, but you can see the indecision here. This could have just as easily gone green, right? Not that much, for a couple $100, right? What else could have flipped green pretty easily? Well, the one right here, right? Even was green for most of the time, if you remember back in here, right? We had a rally way up here to 43K, right? And then sold off right at the closing. And we even went down a little bit more, but this could have easily flipped green, right? So we have 2 candles that could just as easily been green as red, right? This is a red candle for sure. This is a red candle for sure, right? Certain, big red candles, those are red, right? These candles could have easily gone to the green side. You could kind of see where I'm going here, right? So indecision candle, 1 weekly red, 2 weekly red, indecision candle, 1 weekly red, 2 weekly red, 3 weekly red, 4. I would go 2 and 4. So what if this was green and red? Would you be 100%? We're definitely going to go up soon. No, you might pause for a minute, right? So I invite you to have that open mind that even though this is red by definition and by color and by visual eyes open, you can see a little bit, maybe, if you have an open mind here, indecision candle, bearish, you're certainly a bearish sell-off here, but could have easily flipped green, and then no one will be talking about definitely have to go green for our 9th week. Ninth week has to be green, right? You could see that, right? If this was green and this was green, there'd be nobody talking about we're definitely going up soon. So I'm just throwing that out there that, even though it is by definition 8 red weeks, that is a record for Bitcoin. We've never had 8 red weeks. It could have just as easily gone the other way and nobody would be even talking about that. So just keep that in mind, right? Big red candles. If we had 8 of these in a row, yeah, we'd be, not only would we, be probably pressing for air, but we'd probably be like, 20K or less at that point, right? Look at how the size of that candle, right? 11% in that week. So we did have a hard press outside of that, which we've talked about. We had a big move up, and now we're just, we could be consolidating for weeks, just like that daily chart, right? Look at the daily chart. Imagine this is the turns into the weekly chart, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can all count. So, right? So now we're working on our 11th day in a row, basically sideways. Imagine that chart on that chart. That is a possibility. We could just be looking at, 11 more weeks of up and down, right? To the 8-week EMA, right? We do something like that. We bounce the Bollinger Bands kind of start to close up like this, right? And we just bounce in here until like July. Can you imagine how boring the next couple months would be, right? So, yeah, just be prepared for that. Be prepared for anything. And don't think that one thing has to happen for sure, one way or another, right? So we're looking at, another 10 weeks puts us to almost August. So think about that. There's 10 more. That's 10 more weeks. August, right? So yikes, that would be boring, right? That could happen, right? You've seen it on the daily. Just because it happens on the daily doesn't mean it can't happen on the weekly. So, you could certainly start to imagine something like that, right? This looks very similar to the weekly chart. So I invite you to not be too deterministic. Have an open mind that, we could be at 30K in August. We could obviously be lower. We could obviously be higher. But just to think that we have to have a huge drop or a huge rise sometime in the next several weeks is not the case. And we could very well be right around here, bouncing around, 35K to 25K for the next 2 or 3 months. Just throwing that out there. All right, that's Bitcoin in a wrapped up nutshell for you on this Monday. So hopefully that helped you a little bit. Give us a thumbs up if you haven't already. Follow us on Twitter, Telegram. If you want more of these videos, I do daily updates and our Patreon group, Telegram right there. That's linked below. And let's get to our quote of the day by Voltaire. Judge a man by his questions rather than his answers. probably one of my top 20. There's a lot of good quotes I like. This has got to be one of the top ones. I love this quote. So, what do you think about this one? You won't care. I love this quote. This is how I actually look at people. So, what are they talking about, right? Are they talking about, how's your receivers and what is the quarterback doing this time? Or are they talking about the next big project in crypto? Are they looking at, going to, what do your friends talk about, right? That's your friends show you your future. So just throwing that out there. All right, car of the day, the Swiss Alps. I don't know if it's the Swiss Alps. Anybody guess where that is? Probably Colorado. I just liked it because it has the white mountains and then the white Ford GT. That's the car of the day, Ford GT. If you don't like mountains, you prefer a warmer climate, there you go. Now we got palm trees. Probably California. Tall palms. We got the old Ford GT, the Heritage Editions. So these will set you back double what you would have paid for a regular Ford GT. That's the Heritage Edition Ford GT. There you go. All right. That's all I got. You're still here? I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one on Thursday. YouTube update. If you want more updates, do a little bit more tighter group on Patreon, Telegram, right below. All right. I'll see you there.